My mom says he's better for me, she said after meeting another man, so I refused to compete. He turned out to be abusive, and she came crawling back. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. Thanks. I need to get this off my chest because honestly, I still can't believe how it all played out. 2 years ago, I thought I was going to marry Sarah. Now I can barely remember why I cared so much about making her mother like me. Sarah and I had been together for almost 2 years when this whole thing started. I'm Jake, 26, work in IT support for a mid-sized company. Nothing flashy, but I own my apartment, pay my bills, and I genuinely love this girl. Sarah was 24, worked in marketing, and still lived with her mom Linda after college. Red flag? Maybe. But I was trying to be understanding. Linda never liked me. From day one, it was obvious I wasn't what she had in mind for her daughter. I drove a reliable Honda instead of a BMW. I lived in a decent neighborhood, not the fancy side of town. I had a stable job, not some high-powered career. But I kept trying because I loved Sarah, and I thought if I just proved myself, Linda would come around. The family dinners were torture. Every Sunday, I'd show up with flowers or wine, trying to win her over. Linda had this way of making comments that sounded nice, but felt like little cuts. Jake, sweetie, what are your plans for moving up at work? Sarah's friend Marcus just bought a house in Riverside. I'm actually up for a team lead position next quarter, I'd say, trying to stay positive. That's nice. Marcus is opening his second office location. Sarah would just sit there, not defending me, not shutting her mother down. Just making these apologetic faces like her mom was some natural disaster we had to endure. Mom, can we not do this tonight? Sarah would say weakly. Do what? I'm just making conversation. Marcus is doing so well for himself. I should have seen it coming when Linda started bringing up Marcus more often. He was the son of her friend from church, apparently some hotshot in finance or real estate. I never got the full story because every time his name came up, I tried to change the subject. The shift in Sarah started small. She'd make little comments about my car needing repairs, or how Marcus had just gotten back from some business trip to Miami. Nothing direct, just these little comparisons that felt like paper cuts. He just seems more ambitious, you know, she said one night after another dinner where Linda had spent 20 minutes talking about Marcus's new condo. Ambitious how? I asked, genuinely trying to understand. I don't know. He just goes after what he wants. Takes risks. What risks am I not taking? It's not about you, Jake. I'm just saying some people have bigger goals. I tried to have a real conversation about it. Sarah, if you want me to be more ambitious, tell me what that looks like to you. I'll work toward whatever goals we set together. You shouldn't have to change for me, she said, but her tone suggested that maybe I should. 3 weeks later, Linda invited Marcus to Sunday dinner. I'm not kidding. She actually invited another man to family dinner while I was dating her daughter. The audacity should have been my wake-up call, but I was still trying to be the reasonable guy. Marcus was everything Linda wanted. Tall, expensive suit, firm handshake, talked about his investment portfolio over pot roast. He was charming, I'll give him that. Confident in that way that makes other people feel smaller without him having to try. So Jake, Sarah tells me you work in IT. Marcus said with this smile that didn't reach his eyes. That's a stable field. Stable. Like I was a government bond. I enjoy the problem-solving aspect, I replied. That's great. I'm more of a big-picture guy myself. Always looking for the next opportunity to scale up. Sarah was practically glowing sitting next to him. I watched her laugh at his stories about closing deals and networking events. She never looked at me like that when I talked about my work. After dinner, Linda cornered me in the kitchen while Sarah walked Marcus to his car. He's impressive, isn't he? She said, washing dishes with unusual enthusiasm. Sure, I said. Sarah deserves someone who can give her the life she dreams of. What kind of life is that, Linda? Security. Adventure. Someone who challenges her to be better. And I don't do that. She turned to look at me with something almost like pity. You're a sweet boy, Jake. But Sarah is special. She needs someone who matches her potential. I should have walked out right then. Instead, I stayed for coffee and watched Sarah come back inside glowing like she'd just discovered fire. The next few weeks were hell. Sarah started going out more, networking events, and professional development meetings. She'd come home talking about Marcus and his connections, his business strategies, his plans to expand. I'm learning so much from him, she'd say. He's really opening my eyes to what's possible. What kind of things? I asked. Just thinking bigger, not settling for comfortable. That word, comfortable. She said it like it was cancer. I found out they were spending time alone when I saw them having lunch together downtown. I wasn't following her or anything dramatic. I was just grabbing food between service calls, and there they were, sitting close, talking intensely. She saw me through the window and waved like nothing was weird about it. That night, I brought it up. I saw you with Marcus today. Oh yeah? We were just talking about some business ideas. He's helping me think through some career moves. Career moves you haven't mentioned to me. I didn't want to get your hopes up until I knew if anything would come of it. Since when do we not talk about career stuff? She sighed like I was being difficult. Jake, Marcus has connections I could never access through your network. He's introducing me to people who could change my whole trajectory. What's wrong with my network? Nothing's wrong with it. It's just different. Different. Another word that felt like a slap. 2 months of this. 2 months of watching my girlfriend slowly pull away while her mother cheered from the sidelines. 2 months of feeling like I was competing in a race I didn't even know I'd entered. The breaking point came at Linda's birthday party. Sarah had been distant all week, and when I arrived at the restaurant, Marcus was already there. Not just there, sitting in what should have been my seat, next to Sarah. Oh good, you made it, Linda said when she saw me. We saved you a seat down there. She pointed to the far end of the table, next to Sarah's weird cousin who collects model trains. I sat down and watched Marcus charm the entire family. He had stories, connections, business cards. He picked up the check with this casual wave like it was nothing. Sarah barely looked at me all night. When I drove her home, the silence was thick. Nice party, I said. Yeah, Marcus really made it special. Marcus made your mother's birthday special. He just has this way of bringing out the best in people, making them feel important. And I don't. She was quiet for a long time. Then, I need to figure out what's best for me, Jake. My mom thinks Marcus could give me the life I deserve. Maybe I should explore that. Explore what exactly? Just what it would be like to be with someone who matches my ambition. I pulled over. I had to. Sarah, are you telling me you want to date Marcus? I'm telling you I need to figure out who I am and what I want. While dating me, I don't know. Maybe we should take a break. A break so you can explore things with Marcus. A break so I can explore things, period. I looked at her, really looked at her. This woman I'd loved for 2 years, who I'd bought a ring for that was sitting in my sock drawer, who I'd planned a future with. And she was asking for permission to cheat. I'm not going to fight someone for you, Sarah, I said quietly. Either you want to be with me or you don't. It's not that simple. It really is. You don't understand the pressure I'm under. My mom has opinions about everything, and Marcus is just, let me make this simple for you, I interrupted. You don't need a break to figure out if you want to be with me. You already know. She started crying then. That's not fair. What's not fair is stringing me along while you audition my replacement. That's not what this is. Then what is it? She couldn't answer. Or wouldn't. I drove her home in silence and walked her to the door like I always did. Take all the time you need to figure things out, I said. But I won't be waiting. Jake, good night, Sarah. A week later, she called. I've made my decision, she said without preamble. Okay. My mom says he's better for me. He has goals, ambition. You're just comfortable. I need someone who challenges me. There it was. Comfortable. The kiss of death. So 2 years means nothing because your mom found someone with a bigger paycheck? I asked. It's not about money. It's about potential. Marcus pushes me to be better. Better than what? Better than settling. And that's what you were doing with me? Settling. I don't want to hurt you, Jake. You're a good guy, but I need more than good. Then I hope you're happy with your choice, I said. That's it. You're not going to fight for us. You just told me there is no us. But what if I'm making a mistake? Then you'll figure that out. But I won't be your backup plan while you do. She hung up. The next few months were rough, not going to lie. Friends kept telling me to fight for her or show her what she's missing. But I was done performing for Sarah and her mother's approval. I focused on work, got that promotion, started going to the gym more, picked up some hobbies I'd neglected. Social media was torture at first. Sarah's Instagram was suddenly full of expensive restaurants, weekend trips, shopping bags from stores I couldn't pronounce. Marcus's arm around her at charity galas, his sports car, their couple selfies from Miami. The comments from Linda were the worst. So proud of my beautiful daughter and her amazing boyfriend, with heart emojis and tags for all her friends to see. I eventually unfollowed both of them. Not blocked. That felt too dramatic. Just unfollowed and got on with my life. About 6 months after the breakup, mutual friends started making weird comments. Nothing direct, just little hints that maybe things weren't as perfect as they looked online. Saw Sarah at Emma's party last weekend, my friend Mike mentioned. She seemed different. Different how? I don't know. Stressed? Marcus was glued to her side the whole time. Wouldn't let her talk to people without him there. I didn't ask for details. Wasn't my business anymore. More little hints over the next few months. Sarah had quit her marketing job to focus on supporting Marcus's business. She wasn't hanging out with her old friends as much. Linda was posting fewer bragging photos. Then Emma called me directly. Jake, I need to tell you something, but you can't let Sarah know I called. What's wrong? I think Marcus is hitting her. My stomach dropped. What do you mean you think? She showed up to my house yesterday with bruises on her arms. Said she fell downstairs, but Jake, it looked like finger marks. Did you ask her directly? She shut down the second I brought it up. Started making excuses and left. She's not allowed to have friends over anymore, apparently. Marcus thinks we're bad influences. Have you talked to Linda? Linda finally sees what Marcus really is, but she's too proud to admit she was wrong. She keeps making excuses for him. I felt sick. Whatever Sarah had done to me, I never wanted this for her. What can I do? I asked. I don't know. Maybe nothing. She made her choice. But I thought you should know. I thought about reaching out. Wrote a dozen texts I never sent. What was I supposed to say? I told you so, wasn't going to help her, and I genuinely didn't know if my contact would make things worse for her. The decision was made for me when she started trying to reconnect. It started small. She liked a few of my Instagram posts. Then she started viewing my LinkedIn profile weekly. Then mutual friends mentioned she'd been asking about me. The first text came on a Tuesday. Hey, how are you? I waited a few hours before responding. I'm well. Hope you are too. Can we talk sometime? About what? I made a huge mistake. I see that now. Can we meet for coffee? I stared at that message for a long time. Part of me wanted to see her, to understand what had happened. But a bigger part of me knew it wasn't my problem to solve. I don't think that's a good idea, Sarah. Please. I just need to explain. You explained perfectly when you left. Nothing's changed. The texts became more frequent after that. Longer. More desperate. I know I hurt you, but what we had was real. Marcus isn't who I thought he was. I see that now. I'm sorry to hear you're having problems, but that doesn't change anything between us. I miss you, Jake. I miss us. I stopped responding after that, but she didn't stop trying. Then Linda called me. Actually called my phone at 9 p.m. on a Thursday. Jake, we need to talk. Hello, Linda. What about? Sarah. She's in trouble. What kind of trouble? Marcus. He's not the man we thought he was. She needs help. Then help her. She won't listen to me. She needs someone she trusts. She made it pretty clear she doesn't trust my judgment. She was young, confused. I pushed her toward Marcus. That's on me. But you're a good man, Jake. She needs someone stable now. The irony wasn't lost on me. With respect, Linda, you encouraged her to leave someone stable for someone exciting. She listened to you then. That's different. She was young. She was 24 and made an adult decision with your support. I'm respecting that decision. You're really going to let pride get in the way of helping someone you loved? This isn't about pride. It's about accepting that some choices have consequences. Linda hung up on me. The calls and texts escalated after that. Sarah sent paragraphs about how sorry she was, how she'd learned her lesson, how she wanted to make things right. I read them all but rarely responded. Then she showed up at my apartment. I was coming home from the gym when I found her sitting on my steps. She looked thin, tired. Nothing like the glowing woman from those Instagram posts. We need to talk, she said, standing up. No, we don't. Jake, please. I know I hurt you, but what we had was real. I see that now. What we had ended when you chose to explore other options. That's not fair. I was confused. My mom was pressuring me. The same way you're pressuring me now? This is different. I made a mistake. A huge mistake. Marcus isn't who he pretended to be. I'm sorry that happened to you. Are you? Because you don't seem sorry at all. I looked at her then, really looked at her. The desperation in her eyes, the way she was holding herself. This wasn't the confident woman who'd told me I was too comfortable. This was someone who'd gotten everything she thought she wanted and found out it was poison. I am sorry you're hurting, I said carefully. But that doesn't mean we have anything to discuss. So you're just done? 2 years meant nothing to you. 2 years meant everything to me. That's why it hurt so much when you threw it away. I didn't throw it away. I made a mistake. You made a choice. With full information about what you were giving up. She started crying then. I can't go back to him, Jake. I tried to leave and he threatened me. My chest tightened. Sarah, if you're in danger, you need to call the police. Or go to a shelter. There are resources. I don't want resources. I want you. That's not how this works. Why are you being so cold? I'm not being cold. I'm being realistic. The Jake I knew would have helped me. The Jake you knew would have done anything for you. You remember him? The one who wasn't ambitious enough. She flinched. That was wrong of me to say. It was honest. You meant it then, and meaning it was your right. But I took you at your word. People change, Jake. I've changed. Good for you. I hope that works out. That's it. That's it. She stood there for another minute, maybe hoping I'd change my mind. When I didn't, she walked away. The final encounter happened 8 months later, completely by accident. I was at a coffee shop near my office, waiting for my order, when I heard someone say my name. Sarah was standing behind me in line. She looked better than she had at my apartment, healthier, less desperate. But there was something hollow in her eyes. Hi, she said. Hi. You look good. Thanks. You too. Awkward silence. Then, can we sit for a minute? Just to talk. I almost said no, but something made me nod toward a corner table. How are you? She asked once we sat down. I'm doing well. You? Better. I left Marcus. For real this time. Good for you. I'm living with Emma while I figure things out. That's nice of her. More silence. Then she leaned forward. Can't we try again? I've changed. I've learned from my mistakes. I studied her face. You said I wasn't ambitious enough for you. That I was just comfortable. What's changed? I realize now that comfortable isn't bad. That stability matters more than excitement. So now I'm good enough because your other option didn't work out? That's not. Like you said, you need someone who challenges you. I'm just comfortable, remember? She stared at me. You're really going to throw my words back at me? I'm not throwing anything. I'm reminding you of who you said you were and what you said you needed. I was wrong. Maybe. Or maybe you were right then and you're wrong now. Either way, it doesn't matter. Why doesn't it matter? Because I don't want to be anyone's second choice. I don't want to be the safe option you settle for after excitement doesn't work out. That's not what this is. It's exactly what this is. You're here because Marcus showed you who he really was, not because you suddenly realized who I really was. Her face crumpled a little. So there's nothing I can do? Nothing I can say? There's plenty you can say. Just not to me. I don't understand. You can tell the next guy you date that you learn to appreciate reliability, that you won't take loyalty for granted, that you understand the difference between being challenged and being controlled. And you? I already learned what I needed to learn, which is that I was right not to compete for you. That self-respect matters more than being wanted by someone who doesn't value what you offer. She sat back in her chair, really seeing me for maybe the first time in our entire conversation. You're different, she said quietly. No, I'm not. I'm exactly who I always was. You just never saw it clearly. And now it doesn't matter what you see. I stood up then. I hope you figure out what you're looking for, Sarah. I really do. But it's not me. Jake, take care of yourself. I walked away without looking back. She didn't follow. 6 months later, I heard she'd started dating someone new. A teacher, according to Emma. Nice guy, stable job, treats her well. I hope it works out for her. As for me, I met someone 3 months ago. Her name is Claire. She's a graphic designer, and she thinks my Honda is perfectly practical. Her mother invited me to Thanksgiving dinner after our second date. Sometimes the trash takes itself out, and sometimes it tries to crawl back in. The key is knowing the difference between a mistake and a pattern, between someone who learned something and someone who just learned they don't like consequences. Sarah taught me that I'd rather be alone than be someone's backup plan. Claire taught me what it feels like to be someone's first choice. That's the difference between being comfortable and being chosen. And that's a lesson I'll never forget. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. What do you think about this story? Share it in the comments.